Give me 1 second here. I'm going to share this to a couple other platforms and then I'll be right back. My name is Casper Jones. I handcraft skateboards for Life Skateboards, and you're watching Days with Casper. Oops. All right. So my name is Casper Jones. I handcraft skateboards for Life Skateboards, and you're watching Days with Casper. Today we're just going to be loading 3 boards into the monster press for the live. I got here early this morning, did a graphic on my board, and if you guys aren't familiar with what's going on here, here at Life Skateboards we handcraft skateboard decks. They're made to last, better than that factory trash. Ooh. As I do this here, I'm going to kind of explain what's in your skateboard for these boards here. These ones we are pushing 6-ply for them since they're wider boards. You want them a little bit lighter. Boards tend to come with standard 7-plies, but I'll explain the layup for a 6-ply board right now. So inside your 6-ply skateboard, you've got 2 different types of veneer. You've got a vertical veneer, 2 types of that one as well. You've got a face and a core. And then a horizontal veneer called a crossband. So inside of a 6-ply skateboard, you've got a face, vertical core, crossband, and face. Now for a 7-ply board, you're just going to have another core in between the bottom face and that second crossband. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to have you guys plugged in right over here so you guys don't have to face the consequences of me not bringing my charger home last night. All right, and remember, you can get one of these decks at lifeskateboard.com. These are for some gigantic decks. They're going into the monster press. Monster press is 15 inches wide. Why? Because why not? Get yourself some 13-inch slappies and make yourself a really fun setup. You know it, man. It becomes an even better job when you guys get boards from us. Remember, you can get these decks at lifeskateboard.com. We make boards to order. So you'll likely see your board getting shaped either on live or on one of the Life Take Shape videos if you order a board. Now while I'm doing this gluing here, if you guys buy supers, make sure you put a note in there because I am going to write whatever you put on there as long as it's appropriate. If not, I'm just going to say you're rad. Inside the skateboard, only you, me, the people watching are going to know that it's in there. I used to write little motivational notes inside all the boards. Oh, thanks, buddy. Skateboarding will do that to you. Hey, Alley Cat, just so you're aware, if you're going to try to make fun of me, you should probably make it original and funny. It's super strange for you to comment on somebody doing their dream job's appearance. I guess you don't have much else to comment on. But if you need to let out some of that pent-up frustration, you can get a skateboard from me and learn how to skateboard. It's a very healing activity. Treats you to be kind to the people around you, appreciate the things that you're doing, lets you focus on that thing under your feet so you can process all those pent-up aggressions that you have inside of you while you're lashing out at strangers. Hope you have a better day than you walked in here with, Alley Cat. But anyway, thank you, Indica. I appreciate you. Thank you, Kurt. You gotta stay humble. I'm not wearing my hat that says stay lame on it, but thank you, Indica. Appreciate you. Ooh, I'm just happy to be able to share my passion with a community like what I've gathered here on YouTube. And also, if you want to get a hold of one of these giant decks here, they're not on the website, but that's lifeskateboard.com. But if you go to lifeskateboard1010 on Instagram, there's going to be some posts with instructions on how to get these before we add them to the website. Thank you from Ohio. We got a regular with a regular question here. No, I'm not. Thanks, though. Good custom cruiser. So, that's a good jumping off point there. I don't think that cruisers are defined by the deck. They're defined by your trucks, your wheels, turn radius on the trucks, things like that. So if you want to get a deck from us and throw some loose trucks, risers, and big wheels on there, you can make it a cruiser. We've got over 77 shapes available on the website. There's some that are less functional than others, so you can consider that a cruiser, but you can still rip it. The aggro is a fun one from us. It's 10.5, so you want some Indy 215s with that. The butter knife is a fun one. We've got the large knife coming out soon. Pretty much any of our boards could be fun cruisers. You just got to set it up properly to make it a cruiser. So the way we apply our graphics here at Life Skateboards is with hand-carved linoleum blocks. I do have some videos up of that going down. 1 second, I'm stepping over here to tape the ends up on this board. So we have graphics that are commissioned by an artist. It's a hand-carved relief image, and then we apply those graphics by hand. And the reason we do that is because heat transfers ruin boards, even though it's the way the rest of the industry applies their graphics. So as far as a custom graphic, we can combine multiple prints, roll backgrounds for you and that sort of thing, but we don't really do photorealistic. Our goal and our mission is mainly to make boards that last a really long time. So any step of the process that damages the board that would be passing that damage on to the customer is not something we do here. Of course, Sideshow. Good morning, Ning. It was really cool to wake up this morning and see an unboxing of a board that I designed. That was really cool. Never thought I'd wake up to that one day. Of course, bud. So, I mean, if you would like to get a board from us and have your buddy do graphics for you, if they're painting it on there, which is not an efficient way for mass producing boards, but if it's for your board, that's pretty cool. You can order a board from us, tell us not to put a bottom graphic on it, and if you communicate with us well enough, we won't even clear coat the bottom, so then you can just do whatever you want on it. And then just a good polyurethane clear coat, and then you can make a life board your own. We're just going to throw a top graphic on there. We're just super against heat transfers here. Of course, Sideshow. What's your advice for getting back into skating after 7 or 8 years? My advice is jump back in. The skateboarding community is much more accepting of beginners than it used to be. Gatekeeping is kind of frowned upon now. So get right back into it. Just remember, you've got to get that muscle memory back before you start going for heavier tricks again. You're going to have to build up your impact again, probably your ankle mobility. Don't expect to jump right back in and get back to where you were the day you stopped. But remember, you can always get back to that point. It doesn't matter how far you've let things regress. You can always get back to that point. Just stick with it. I'd suggest just getting back on a board. Go to your local park. Meet some locals. Go talk to your local shop. Check out what's going on in the scene. Start showing up to contests. I'm sure that would make your friend really happy that you're not only getting back into skateboarding, but getting back into the culture of it. That's the truth, Dash. And I'm happy to see that. When I was growing up, it was a very gatekeepy, cool guy era of skateboarding. I don't like that. Of course, Christopher. Welcome back to the skateboarding community. A good quote I like to pull from Jake Phelps is that skateboarding's always waiting for you. So it doesn't matter how long you took a break for, you're here. Yes, Mrs. Buzz, I am hand gluing the veneers that will become skateboards. We're gluing 3 of these up, throwing them in the press, and we are going to call it a short morning. This morning I made a little video with an Insta360 on graphic application. I have no clue how that's going to turn out. Thank you, Mrs. Buzz. It may get posted, it might not get posted. I've never filmed a full video with an Insta360, so we'll see. All right. Set one more of these over there to tape. And we got one more to glue up, and it's time to throw these in the press. We are located in the United States. This is located in New Palestine, Indiana. That's 20 minutes east of Indianapolis. The shop was originally located in Muncie, Indiana. We moved a few years back. Yeah, it's super weird too because Mike V's style was a progression of being an attempt at gatekeeping him, and then he just said, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do whatever I want to," and that's what developed that style. You'd love to get a twin tail, so all of our boards can be twinned because we do everything in house. So if you see a shape you want, whether it's just a popsicle or if it's a funky shape with a weird tail that you want to also be the nose, you can let us know that you want us to twin that. So if you go on the website right now, there's just going to be the option to put that in the notes. Very soon we're going to have a new website where you'll be able to choose symmetrical decks. But we do have a few that are already symmetrical, like our twins. We've got these small, mid, and large twin. And then we've got these small, mid, and large egg twins. So check those out at lifeskateboard.com. Thank you, Christopher. Hi there, Tyrone. I appreciate your obsession with the way that I look, but as you can tell, I'm doing what I love, so I don't really care. Thank you. Appreciate you standing up for me, P. How much do the presses run? I don't know, bud. That's not my department. I am the hourly employee here. The owner has built up all of this stuff since 2012. Yeah, the sturgeons are really cool. That's a really awesome graphic that has some cool little motifs put in there, like the city that the company came from. The original phone number for the company is actually worked into the graphic. It's pretty cool. Yeah, actually, Bryce is the person that made me aware of this company. He no longer works here, but the story of how I found this company involves Bryce. So I was working in a skate shop a while back, like 2020, 2021, and I was going through a deck a week because I was heavy-footed, skating every day, multiple times a day. And I had just kind of accepted that all boards were normal, part of my pay. for the shop for the week was a deck a week anyway. Somebody came in and told me they were pressing boards in Ohio, wanted me to try this board that they had for me. I tried it, and boards went from lasting a week to lasting a month, which was insane for me at the time. I was advertising the crap out of this company, and I will leave the name of the company that I was advertising out of this, because then I got a message from Bryce Miller that was like, hey dude, I made that board. So the person that came in and told me about the board was lying, but it's the first time a life board got in my hands. So somebody had taken a life board, kind of rebranded them, and made up a story about them. Bryce corrected me, invited me up to the Life Bowl. I ended up having a good session with him. A few years later, I saw an opening open up, gave Sam a call, and I've been here ever since. Alright, so Tyrone just decided to wake up in the morning and be a dick, so we're going to go ahead and hide you from the channel, bud. Yes, you can talking to a phone, because I am also talking to a phone. So when you go to our website, you're going to go to the Popsicles 825 and then change your wheelbase to 14. If that option isn't on there right now, just put it in the notes and we'll do it for you. Since I'm only doing 3 decks, I got a little more play time to keep up with the chat here. Yeah, Bryce was a good dude. Yeah, that's true. That's a good question. What's my favorite board I've made? So, as far as shapes that are available here, yes, my board. But my favorite shape I've ever made would probably be this one right here. And I'll show you guys that after I put these boards in the press. I broke my leg a few years back, and I thought it would be funny to take the x-ray and shape a board off the shape of my brake. So that was pretty cool. That's probably my favorite one-off board I've ever made. Yeah, and I've got that right underneath the board I broke my leg on. All right, in a second here, we're going to be loading up the press. I'm so sorry. Why are skateboards made with multiple layers instead of, is it cheaper? No, it's better. The reason for that is when there's multiple plies in there, you can put them in different directions. So there are 2 plies inside of this board that are crossbands. So the grains go the opposite direction as the ones that you see on the outside of the deck. That gives the board strength in every direction. When you're using multiple layers of maple as well, you're able to make it more malleable. So you'll see in a moment here why we need them to be malleable, is we're going to be drastically changing the shape of the board. Let me stop this glue from dripping here, and we will start loading up the press. So this is the monster press, the monster mold. This is placed inside of our wide press. This is our youth press at the top here, and we sometimes fit a mellow mold into here. But today, we're going to be loading the monster press, which is 15 inches wide. It's gigantic. Why? Because why not? Not really going for more flex, just going for more malleability. Malleability? Malleability. Is that a word? When I get off of here, I'm going to look that word up. I don't trust myself. All right, so while we're placing these in here, alignment is an important aspect of this. If the boards aren't aligned properly, they're not going to press properly. three are centered. We're going to slide this upper mold in. So we've got the upper part of the monster mold to slide in there, and then we got to fit the youth mold in there. Fitting the youth mold in there is a little tricky. Kind of got to wiggle it in there. Oh, look at that. Looks like I fixed some things yesterday. On the last live, we had some trouble fitting this in there, but that worked out a lot better. Double checking alignment as we go here. I had to make some adjustments on the jacks this morning, so it makes sense that they're a little bit off. All right. So now that these are aligned and centered, we're going to be raising these jacks by hand. Now at one point, these were hooked up as pneumatic jacks. When we moved the shop, we just have not moved the hooked the compressor up through everything here, so we're making it work. Check the alignment as it goes up here. So it depends on what it turns into. Some of these are currently listed as 140 shipped. Once again, these are the 14 plus inch boards. So you'll have to check the post from Life on Life Skateboard 1010 that's pinned to the top of the Life Skateboards Instagram for prices on that. These are 20 ton jacks. Whoops. Hard to do this while I'm also paying attention to what you're doing. I am a wild man. What am I doing? I am currently raising the presses while checking alignment here. That was a good catch. You guys see that? That was a good catch right there. I'm taking that. We're gonna pretend that I meant to do all that. These guys are 6-ply. We suggest 6-plies for these 14-inch boards, but we do make them in a 7-ply as well. I know, right? I honestly am pretty surprised at that. I play skateboards, not sports, so that was a surprise to me for catching that. There, thank you, Warren. I was right. I used a word that I wasn't sure was a word, and I used it correctly. Malleability. All right. So this is going to be a short live today. Sorry if you're just now joining. Oh, that's a great way that question got worded to me. We usually get asked if we only do shapes. We do everything here. We've got over 77 shapes, including popsicles, listed on the website. My current setup is my signature shape. Whew. All right, I've got to clean up this table here, and then I'm going to get going, get home, get a little bit of rest, and then get a skate session in. Yeah, check us out at lifeskateboard.com. That's a good question, Aaron. So the way we do things here at Life Skateboards, we do long press and cure times. So the boards are in the press for 24 hours, and then they cure for 7 days before the shape is cut out. And I'll go ahead and walk you through this stuff real quick. I don't know about live in the skate session. Maybe, we'll see. I've been working on new stuff, so it's embarrassing. So once those boards come out of the press 24 hours later, they get put in a stack of their own concave for 7 days. And then we come in here and Sam, the boss man, puts the truck holes in right here and then attaches one of these templates to the bottom of the uncut. Once that template is attached, he runs it along this bearing right here and cuts out the shape, and that's when I get a hold of it. I take that edge, bring it to a 90 with the concave here. I round that side off right there, clean it up right here a little bit more, clean it up here a little bit more, and then a final clean on the orbital sander. We also do hand apply our graphics with hand carved lino blocks. Sorry about that. Talking apparently isn't my strong suit this morning. The jack is not doing nothing on your right. That's a silly thing to say. So this is a method we've been using since 2012. Once again, this live is called How Skateboards Should Be Made, not how to hop onto somebody's live and tell them how to do their job. Okay, maybe I'll live the skate session. Hi there, yeah, right. Do you take drugs is the question I'm getting asked right now. So we're going to go ahead and... So here at Life Skateboards, we're both addicts in recovery. I talk a lot here about sobriety, my recovery, and things like that. Tim Hugs, no, you can go to my page if you'd like to. I mean, it's kind of fun to address them, though. I kind of enjoy it. Oh, no. The valve doesn't need tighten. I'll show you how these ones work. See, before you guys get on the live here, I tighten the ever-living shit out of this thing right here so that I don't have to deal with that and struggle with it. Also, apology if I offended you with my response to that. That's just my stock response to when people tell me things on here. But as you can tell, I can't really tighten it any further. So these guys are locked in tight. What you were probably watching was me going back and forth in between these, and the reason for that is you want to push the glue around inside of the plies. Get full glue coverage beyond what I already did. So oh, Brandon, we can do whatever you want here at Life Skateboards. The company's name is Life Skateboards. If you go to lifeskateboard.com, you'll get one of your own. I'm pretty much done working here, but D-Nice is here again. Always happy to see D-Nice in here. No Name, I think that they're awesome. Obviously, it's not something that you can do large production with, but if you're just making boards for yourself, I see no problem with that. Obviously, you just want to check your glue lines and make sure they're good, but it's as long as you're going with long press and cure times and not heat transferring it, I'm going to be okay with it. Do we do collabs with a tattoo artist? Yeah, actually, Fat Ram Tattoo did a... so we have a guy on our team, Andrew Allen. He had a signature graphic made for him. I do not have it up on the wall here. But Fat Ram Tattoo did his top graphic and bottom graphic. And then the majority of the graphics here are done by Ben Blakely. Hi there, Dr. Frank, whatever your thing is. I'm going to assume your doctorate is in vision because that's all you're doing there, looking. I mean, that might be fun. Well, TJ, unfortunately, I don't make any of the decisions here at Life Skateboards. Let's see, Bert, were we listing random brands now? All right, we got Dr. Victor on here. Tattoo on face, so stupid. Dang, guys. So once again, it's 9 a.m. and I'm going to go ahead and clock out on my dream job. You guys can keep talking about the way I look. That's totally fine with me. It just means that you woke up in the morning, looked in the mirror, got a little upset at what you saw, and you had to take it out on a random person on the internet. But that's totally fine by me. I'm sitting here doing my dream job. My first board was, I want to say, I think it was a Toy Machine Complete, to be quite honest with you. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to, man, Timu Post Balone. That's a real original one there, man. Once again, if you're gonna make jokes, make me laugh. Make it original. Stop commenting what somebody else just commented 5 minutes ago. And why is it fun to address you guys? Because you're not living your dream job right now. I'm enjoying it and I'm sharing my passion with people. So anybody that wants to dim that down is gonna get addressed. Lucky bearing deck. Wow, I haven't thought about Lucky in a long time. I liked the little dice that came with them in the last bearings I got. Or no, that was the hardware from Lucky. The dice came with it. Is it fun? Broken leg board. Sorry. There you go, Wolf. Broken leg board. I forgot to show you guys that. So this is designed after my X-ray. I see a long comment from an annoying person, hidden from channel. I never really got a chance to read that comment before it was gone. Have I met Bam? Yeah, I got, me and Luke went out to Castle Dam a month or so ago. It was a great time. You broke your femur. That is a heavy break, dude. That's gnarly. Six weeks ago yesterday. Is that when it was? That's crazy. I'm horrible at remembering things like that. He's rad, dude, and he's early in his recovery too. He hit his 1 year on September 28th, which was also his birthday. His story with sobriety, addiction, and recovery is just so powerful. It encompasses a lot of other people's stories and a lot of people's struggles that they genuinely hide while they're going through it. So I think him talking about his story is going to be helpful to a lot of people. Obviously, when you've got that sort of attention on you and you're going through recovery, you're going to have added stress that a normal person isn't going to have. So it's been interesting to watch how he deals with those sorts of things and learn from it and just kind of listen to his story, watch where he came from, check how things looked from the outside, and then getting the story from the inside. It's been really eye-opening to learn all that stuff. We got custom creations and remodeling over here, loving to talk about my face in the morning. That's beautiful. Oh yeah, he can rip, dude. I posted a video of him just goofing around on my board, and for some reason people don't understand that people just goof around on a skateboard. But if you go to his Instagram, he's posting, getting all his clips back. He's been doing doubles. He's been skating every day. And a big part of that is because you need something to distract you in recovery. So he dove right back into skateboarding, and I think it's beautiful. He's proving that skateboarding can save people's lives, and yes, the culture around it sometimes does bring people into a life of drugs and addiction. However, there's always going to be this subculture within the group of people in recovery. And he's really putting a spotlight on that right now. Is this white gummy bear? I don't know. I grabbed something on sale this morning. But I enjoy acknowledging the trolls. They're fun. That's real dumb statements to make, Brandon. So people that actually deal with addiction or dealing with life or death situations, addiction while it's active usually only ends in death. So making light of it or making jokes of it while we're trying to help people is really counterproductive to all that we do. Tim, yeah, I've done a lot of competitions. This is my second board sponsor. I ride for the team, and I also um, I like that rabbit. That made me happy. No, I'm all right, Hugs. I'm not going to do that. Not Hugs with a Z. Hugs with an S. I like it. Nah, Brandon. You see, once again, telling me how things work on my channel doesn't really work out, buddy. Um, so we're here to talk about sobriety and help people and talk about skateboarding and board making. But what things usually break down to is a helpful conversation about sobriety and helping people. So throwing things into the mix that doesn't help or honestly inhibits people, mocking their path and their recovery, it just doesn't really work out very well for them. That's you not only donated $5, but you gave me a good joke in the morning. Thank you, dude. I mean, I don't think you understand where that word comes from for me because you're saying, "Can you say skibbity?" But you're talking about it from a meme perspective. I'm talking about it from the song the band Little Big. And if you don't know the band Little Big, at my wedding, Skibbity the Love version will definitely be played. And my fiance and I have already learned the dance to it, so don't you worry about it. Thank you. I'm sorry that she got pulled into that life, Zach. Sadly, when addicts are deep in addiction, this isn't a forgivable thing where they really don't think outside of themselves. That's why, even though I'm an addict in recovery, I have to tell people that are helping their addict friends sometimes that there's a point when you can't love an addict anymore. But all you can do is hope, have a little pity on it, and be there when they need it too. Because unfortunately, obviously, that's a situation where you can't really feel sorry for the person, but you can feel a little better about humanity if you blame the substance, if you know what I mean. Dude, I love Lil Big. I'm not even joking. Skibbity the Love version will be played at our wedding, and my fiance and I will be dancing to it. That's how you make it. You know what we are. Absolutely, Jason. Because addiction is not something that you just get cured from. You're always an addict, but you can be an addict in recovery. Active addiction and addicts in recovery. Thank you. It's we gotta definitely make some plans here. We actually had a wedding planned at the beginning of the pandemic, and that fucked up all of our plans. And I mean, we've been engaged this whole time, but things are starting to look a little bit up for us now. So we'll see how that works. Your cousin is addicted to crack. Well, do you have anything to ask about help with that? Because if you want to, you can start looking into resources for your cousin. Tell him about how it's affecting you, and try to be there for him. Congratulations, Pat. I'm so happy to hear you're in recovery. Oh, buddy. Hugs. This has just been, I don't normally get to watch the chat this closely, so this has just been a crazy thing. The castle's in Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's pretty common knowledge. 2 months clean. Congratulations, Pat. That's like right over the hump. I always try to tell people that the first 3 months are the hardest, but when you're getting past that 2 months, you probably got past the hardest part already. Congratulations, bud. Oh, Jason, that's a hard one there. So if you're an adult, I think it's time to sit them down and have a good conversation with them. If you're not an adult, it's still a good time to sit down and have that conversation with them. Do a lot of research into recovery programs for that. I've heard a lot of horrible things about Kratom, but thankfully I have zero experience with it. Maybe show them videos of people that talk about it, like squandering their potential. I know, what is it? Jason Ellis talks about that a little bit. Congratulations, Joseph. The Portuguese butcher. Oh, buddy. You came back just to have some horrible things to say about what I'm doing again. It is very true, No Name. I mean, if it weren't for the kindness of strangers helping me out, I definitely wouldn't be here today. So that's why I really try to reach out and help people. I think telling your story always helps people. I think standing up to people that are being dicks about addiction or making light of it helps people that are trying to get out of it. And if, like I said, if strangers wouldn't have helped me, I wouldn't be alive today. So I think it's important to return the favor to strangers, and that's the opportunity I have here. So thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for the subscription too. I strongly disagree with you, Hebron. And that depends on what you want. Do you want to get clean, or do you want to quit a substance? Because trading one substance for another just doesn't tend to work out very often, especially when you're saying do this thing instead of this thing. Like trading one damaging behavior for a positive, exhausting, good one like skateboarding would be great as well. But 18 months sober from drinking, congratulations, Bailey. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Best way to get clean, yeah, no. Yeah, I just don't think that trading things. There you go, Pat. See, that's the truth. And Bam talks about that in the interview I got with him on that video about how you just trade something for skateboarding. That was what it was for me, too. Get up in the middle of the night with the shakes and go to the skate park. Get up in the morning with the shakes and go to the skate park. Get off of work and get pissed off because I want to drink and go to the skate park. I mean, just do something that exhausts you and it works. 18 years, that's 16 years off heroin. Congratulations, dude. Alex, in my opinion, I can just tell you my opinion on that. And in my opinion, probably trading one thing for another, especially when it's an addictive behavior, tends to lean towards addictive behaviors again. I'm not making a judgment. I'm just telling you from my experience. But once again, not making a judgment, but you did ask me directly. Yeah, there you go, Kit. Hit a rail, don't do one. Yeah, that stuff is bad. I got bad on that stuff for a while. Jason, I agree with you. I will say that is my last vice is nicotine, and I'm pretty bummed at myself for that one. But I want to be honest here. I was at the point where pretty much anything psychoactive or anything to get my mind out of reality was my choice. So that's the last thing I got to kick. So that's awesome, Kuba. Some of us, though, unfortunately, once an addiction is established, there's this thing called a tolerance threshold where your brain is used to a certain amount of the substance in your body. So, like for me, if I went out and had a drink, it wouldn't feel satisfying at all until I got right back to the point that I was at during active addiction. I tried moderation 9 years ago. Went out to the bar, thought, all right, I'm going to get a nice beer. I usually just drink really, really heavy stuff because I was just trying to get fucked up. Go out, buy a $13 IPA because if it's expensive, I can't buy more of it. And then I end up buying a 30 rack on the way home and right back to square one. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. But all right, guys, I got to get going here. Thank you guys for sticking around and talking with me. This has been a fun little talk after the live. We've been thinning out the people on here, getting good, positive, helpful people. But Thank you guys. This is just, I like what's happening around here. Dang, Hopeton, right when I'm going to leave, you hop on here? Thank you. But all right, guys, don't forget, subscribe for me, turn on notifications. I do not have any type of schedule for lives. I do have a Patreon if you'd like to support there, but you can also just go to lifeskateboard.com and get a life, and then you got more work for me. I'm going to get home, get some rest, take the dog out to play, and then probably go to the skate park. We'll see how that goes. But, Luis, so I'm going to take a step back real quick and explain something. When we start generalizing the idea of addiction, it just kind of takes away from the real problem of addiction. I'm not addicted to skateboarding. It's something that I love. It's something that's helpful for me. But if I can't skate tomorrow, I'm not going to have the shakes from it. Addiction is a disease that's created by constantly putting a chemical into your system, and then your body is used to that chemical, so it only wants to function with that chemical. But yeah, that's just something that I have to explain when I see it. But all right, love you guys. Have a great night. Here, kickflip. I don't have a board here. As a knife. Kickflip. Bye. I ride DKL non-abrasive grip tape, Anarchy.